Oh. Awesome.
What the heck? I'm trying to make a selection in Photoshop, but it keeps taking one more pixel than... There, we got it. Tim going to come on?
Yeah, he injured himself working on his deck, but like not like it's just a ridiculously bad scratch.
He's just older. He should be able to take it.
Yeah, I'll have to. When my picture comes back up, I'll show everyone it's on my phone. I'll be like, ew. Yeah, but you know, he's supposed to be coming on. He doesn't. I get to beat him even more. We still haven't found that character sheet.
Oh, is he responsible for its disappearance?
We don't know. We just can't figure out where that sheet went. You know, from that Thursday before when John was here. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
I've looked everywhere. I mean, all the other sheets, you know, I had in that pile. It's strange. Stuff happens.
Yep.
Hello, Dragon's Fire 2004s. We're just getting started rolling here, so good to see you. Hopefully you can hear me. I always do that sound check that a first person on, or first person that pops on in chat here as we're rolling tonight. Ravenlofts. And probably we'll discuss a couple other things, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Hey, Jeff. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Vegan. Oh, well, Dragon's Fire, that's great. I appreciate you catching the stream live. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you normally watch on YouTube? This is our Gabbin talk show. What number are we at? 206. Where'd the time go? 206. Awesome. Thanks. Hope you're doing well too, Jeff. Whew. I had a long night last night after the Ed Greenwood game. I couldn't get to sleep after that, man. I guess I was fired up as a DM.
Yeah.
It was a late night. So, and we finished like at 11:10. Then you, myself, Tony, and Ed talked till like midnight.
Yeah, we talked like almost an hour afterwards, and yeah.
Oh, nice, Jeff. Good to see you're going to Gen Con. You got a booth there, or you're just hanging? Oh, that's cool. Good to hear. That's why I try and port everything right over to YouTube. When able, Twitch has a feature you can actually just port it right over, which is good. Well, fun is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with having fun, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it's been 3 years since we all went to Gen Con there, Anna, with the Greyhawk crew. What's up, Chantel? I know you love Ravenloft stuff. Aha. Which is cool. Jeff, I got a picture. Pretty much your D&D. Good. It's good. It's fantastic. Good to go. I do have a picture of. I'll throw it up since you're on early. I'll throw it up right away as you come on. Bill, let me put it on the screen now. Put it on my side screen here, and I'll go right to it. Bill's got. Where do you see the Reaper ship? Getting there. Exactly, Dragon's Fire. I'm always that way. Hey, darling. Are you upset, darling, that I killed you last night, basically? But it wasn't you. It was a necromancer. You and Big Bones. Yes, I didn't. It wasn't literally. Yeah. That's funny.
Trollord Games, join the fray.
Hey, Galbriel, good to see you. People are rolling in here. I'll show you the new character generator. I always gotta shout this out now with Trollord. So, it's at the very bottom. It's a very bottom link. Castle Crusades character managers live on Indiegogo. Awesome. I have 2 out of 3 guests confirmed for the DM's roundtable for next week. So that's good, Anna. Only one to go. Mm-hmm. The first 2 tend to be the hardest. The third one tends to flow. But getting the, so. Yep. Oh no. I would never compare Ravenloft to Vampire Masquerade. First off, I never played it, so I have no idea how it goes. So, yeah, I would have no idea. But this, I mean, you gotta think about this. These adventures are done by the people who wrote Dragonlance, which is really, when you think about it, crazy. Which is crazy and cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a reference point to even compare it, Chantel. I wouldn't even know. That's the thing with me. I'm not a. I would love to be able to compare it, but that would be almost as bad as me trying to compare a Call of Cthulhu game. I played Cthulhu one time, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't want to give it. Now I'm babbling. So.
Yeah. Hello, darling.
Darling's all excited. We confirmed our special guest for the Slav Squad in 2 weeks.
Oh, cool.
Did I fix that shout out? Oh, crap. I think that's one I didn't do. Yeah, I did. Let me see. I'm going to try and fix that real quick. Boom, boom, boom. See, it's always something. That is All-Star. I have 2 of them. I rotate. So I got 2 of them up. Star. Nice. I know the name of the title now. multitasking without crashing the stream. There we go. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Scarshak, good to see you. Thanks for the kind words from last night. It was a fun game last night. Woo! Rolling in here, which is great. Another Wall of Fame discussion tonight. And I know someone, so this is the good thing. Someone's going to go, they're not Greyhawk. No, they're not, but they're easily placed, these models. Obsidian. Well, thank you, darling. Yeah, that was fun. And we'll talk about that as we're hopping on as people are rolling in. So, yeah, great for Tim. We're going to see where the ever mysterious Tim is. Being mysterious. That's true wandering. Absolutely. So good. It's good evening, everyone. Anna's here with me after a fun-filled night last night.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
A bunch of surprises, some tough combats, but a lot of fun. So, and some real surprises too. And Mark Muir was excellent, and that made it really a lot of fun. And then, so we hit this last stream of the week. What's up, Alex? Hit up this last stream of the week with a real nice discussion on the Ravenlofts. Which Anna, you admit, is your little.
I'm out of my water here. I never played. I played a couple of the original Ravenloft. I played in it when it came out back in the day as a player, but I never run it, and I haven't read the modules. Today I've actually read through 4 of them. I got 4 of them from drive-through, and I read through them, and so I'm a little bit acquainted, and of course I've heard about them and stuff, and I have some my own ideas and stuff around them, so to speak, from my perspective.
Well, that is super cool. I want to show you though something because I know Jeff is on here, and I want to show him. This is you know, I have Bill chained to a desk in his basement or something, you know, something to that effect. Here's the 40-inch Reaper ship. Ooh. Yes, it is coming along. So there we go. You know, he's getting there. We're going to be using this in Carlos's adventure. You know, it was Slippery Cat is like, yes, yep. So that is the one that box is. You know how big that box is. So. Yeah, it is, Jeff. He's doing a great job on it, of course. He's just fantastic with it. I'm really excited about utilizing it in an upcoming adventure. So, and that one will be sea-based, you know, and the one that Carlos wrote. And, you know, it has to do with the slavers and all. Had to take some, the sails were all wrapped up the top there, you know. Remember, we want it playable. So, yeah, but you may be able to get sails for it, too. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I wanted to show you that. I'll show it maybe in the end as well here. So, and then well, I should have stayed on that screen. Let me stay on that screen as we're gonna babble.
Sure.
We're gonna babble here for a second if you're all okay with that. So I think I'm being real smart last night. And I do an ode to this dungeon cover, which is one of my favorites of all time. You know, this is from the Adventure School of Nekros, Nekros.
What issue of Dragon?
27.
Okay, so it's an early dungeon.
Yes. So yeah, really early. 91. This one is, and it was a really cool adventure.
And the most awesome mini I've seen ever.
Thanks,
I think.
Yeah, well, Bill did that one too. He custom did that one from scratch almost,
Yep.
which is really fantastic. An unbelievable job he did on that. And we've had that for at least a year and a half. I haven't used it, and I finally took this
Okay.
opportunity to use
Yeah.
it. But I love this cover. I love the adventure, and it's a brother and sister. It's a brother and sister. And just like I had, but I made them Darling and Bones just to poke fun at them, right? Because I like doing that, you know. So Big Bones instead of Little Bones and Darling, and then there was another Priestess in a Roll. I think I'm being all Mr. Smart here, and oh, this is great. I'm going to ode to this cover. She's going to be standing in front of the Dracolich, just like I did, you know. And then Ed goes, I made that. And I'm like, what? I mean, were you shocked when you heard that, Anna? Because I had never,
No, I wasn't surprised when I heard it, but I've never heard of it. But someone has to invent it, and I thought it was kind of what was it, Lawrence Schick that wrote the White Plume Mountain, and he kind of hinted at Dragatha. I thought that was where it came from originally, but that was not the case.
Yeah, absolutely. And we found out a lot of stuff. And then afterwards, late night, and this is where an idea for another show comes up. How many of the Beholder? Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. Eye Tyrant. So, Wanting, this is where it's going to go. So, we get on Cannon Fire Discord last night, and the research crew's there, just talking. It's late night, and I'm up to like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm up way too late, and found out the whole background on when it was Dragon 110. He posted on the Cult of the Dragon article, and then that was 86, and then Spellfire came out, and then the adventure card from the Forsaken Ground box set came out. Dragatha was way later retconned. Like in this was retconned in this in Return to White Plume Mountain.
Also, yeah, so Dragatha is not in the original, only in the Return.
Dragatha is in the original as an undead dragon.
Okay.
No stats. Rumors that Dragatha is nearby.
Exactly. I know there's no stats, just a little arrow on the map, so to speak. Dragatha lies in this direction, just like a breadcrumb. That's it.
Yeah. So what was neat about that was it opens up another realm of opportunities. And so now the next show we'll have with Ed is going to be on monsters. We'll do monsters of the realms in Greyhawk, and then that's what Wandering. We're going to just see how many different beholder types he did, how many other things. Boom, boom, boom. Ones that we use in Greyhawk to this day. I think it's going to be a great discussion. I don't have a date for it set yet. Hopefully by the end of August. Yeah, it'll be a really, really good discussion. So just wanted to say that something really cool came out of last night's game. Along with just having a fun time last night and having wonderful support.
Yeah.
And Enoch got the question on Funkin' Hottie Peak from G1. Good job, Enoch, last night on that too. So that was really cool. The Ever Mysterious Tim should be here at some point. Just like he's always ever mysterious. He injured himself. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I'm going to do my best. I don't know how. Yeah, he injured himself working on his deck today. So there you go. That's his good old. That's a minor flesh wound for him. So for me, I'd be crying all the way to the hospital. Okay, so Wall of Fame. We're getting there on a deep dive, and we've done a bunch of adventures so far, and not all of them have been like pure Greyhawk based, right?
No, we bounced around a bit, and especially early stuff that you put on your wall that is kind of almost before Greyhawk, some of it, and so early that Greyhawk was barely more than published.
So Amy Wiley Hobbit wants to chat with you about something, okay? For their what do you call it? Podcast. Okay, Amy. So there you go. Just note that.
Okay.
I recommended you as one of the guests on something. Okay.
Awesome.
Yep. Oh, good. Les did good, excellent. Because I recommended Les too. It's going to be a podcast on Virtual GrowCon. So
Oh.
yeah, and we have existing DMs that are in have two or more games. So yep, no problem. There it is, everyone. Please, I'm looking for a couple streamers, and we want some more events and some more signups in there, please. That would be awesome.
I'm going to talk to my players again next, so hopefully we can get. I think they're open for running an open session in my campaign that we can in our campaign, so we can invite some more players and because we have big battles coming up, so we need all the help we can get. All the players need.
Awesome. That would be cool, though. That would definitely be a really cool thing. So if we go to this, there are adventures on my wall that are not Greyhawk that I put in Greyhawk. In particular, the 3 in the corner, which aren't even TSR, right?
Yeah.
You got Harbinger of Darkness, Fortress Elendar, Dark Tower. Egg of the Phoenix is not, right? But
it's not Greyhawk, but it's TSR.
Yeah, it's like Karamikos or whatever that, you know.
Yeah,
it's
I'm not sure what it's setting. If it's just
yeah,
I wasn't even sure if it was set in the setting at all, or if it's just a generic adventure.
Yeah, I even forget what setting it is in, but I placed it, and then most of the other ones are, except the 2 Ravenlofts here.
Yeah,
right, Ravenloft 2. They're not Greyhawk, but
they are very classic D&D, though.
I wish I had spent the time to find this, and it was my own dumb fault for not. But do you all remember the ad in Dragon? And it's this picture, and there's a bubble, a chat bubble, and it says something like the following. It says, Strahd says, "Adventurers, this is my home." Does anyone remember that?
I think that was an ad in one of the Dragon messages, wasn't it?
Exactly.
I think so. Yeah, because I have a vague when you talk about it, I have a vague that I've seen it somewhere in there. So I think it was an ad it was like a color page in Dragon, I think.
Absolutely. And
I think I have some idea about
that. Oh, let me do that, darling. Whoops, thank you. Normally it's a Casey alert, but this time it was a darling alert here. All right, I'm going to show you what we're going to do giveaway tonight too.
You open up the
I think you're going to like it. I think you will all
might
like
be appropriate.
This. Yes, this is kind of appropriate to this. And we hype trained so much last night. I really appreciate it. So, I mean, it was a monster night last night, and I really wanted to say thank you. But at minimum, one winner is going to get both of these in reprints.
Ooh.
Okay, Ravenloft and Ravenloft 2. I don't want to split them. So one of you, at least, will get one of you will get both those adventures. Yes. Oh, cool, darling. That's awesome. Yes, and everyone, of course, is eligible. So whoever did that ad, that was the ad I remember. The other ad I remember is the Elmore Big Dragon with the woman under the rock. Right? Remember that adventure? I mean that ad where it was a D&D ad and the red dragon's above her and she's looking up underneath the rock.
Behind the rock. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're the two I remember from when I was a kid. But the
I'm
Ravenloft
not sure what adventure that was for. I just remember it from the art of D&D book and from seeing it in Dragon magazine, but I forgot what adventure it was for.
Yeah, and the same thing. I don't remember for that one, the Elmore one. I think the Elmore one was a general Dungeons and Dragons one. But the Strahd one was definitely for Ravenloft. It was about to come out.
The other one is something that has been used many times in many different shapes, I think, back in the day. It was in one of the early Elmores that was really, really fantastic.
Right, and we gave that away. That was one of the ones that we gave.
Oh, that he printed up a signed print?
Oh, yeah, for the fundraiser. Absolutely. So I'm looking at this, and I have no idea who Tracy and Laura Hickman are. None of us do it.
This was their first D&D product, right?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So, look at that, Al. Trespassers, This Is My Home. Issue 78. Thank you. Issue 78 awesome. Of Dragon. Thank you so very much, Alex, for finding it. Wow, that nice job. Yeah, very cool. Let me see if I can. It's Grognardia. I'll have to risk bringing up browser up. Give me 1 sec here, and I can pop it right up on the web page. Very nicely done, Alex. That was awesome. Thank you. Give me 1 second here. Here comes a stream crash. I don't like running the browser on while I'm streaming stuff here. Oh, look at this, Mr. Injury's coming.
Okay.
How you doing, dude?
Very good.
Yes.
Hello.
Thank you, Alex. That was awesome. There it is.
You're appropriately lighted and stuff for this episode. Yep. You have the right.
Before Rahasia, I don't know. So Ravenloft is 83. So I think so. I'm not sure what date Rahasia is. So how's your leg, dude? What'd you do? You drop something on it?
No, I was repairing. There were small areas of my deck I had to replace, and I had cut a small board, and I was adding supports under it, adding 2x4s to the joist to give it a little bit more wider area to screw into. And I hadn't yet added that, and I stepped on it, and it was a board only about that long, so it flipped up, and then I scraped my shin on the joists.
Oh.
And fell on my other knee at the same time because my deck is high enough. It was not good. I yelled, and nobody heard me, of course.
No.
Well, it was like you were in space, like in Aliens, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody
I didn't
can hear you
scream.
Yeah.
I didn't scream. I'm too, I'm a man. I don't scream like that.
First, you make sure no one is around, then you can scream.
Don't worry, Tim. I shared.
Well, no, it's involuntary. It's involuntary.
I shared I shared the picture with everyone. So.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay. So
hurt,
on the deck, no one can hear you
screaming.
screaming.
I scrubbed it off with soap and water. It hurt too.
Oh, yeah, because you dig in and make sure it's not infected and do all the military stuff. You and Anna,
I mostly sprayed it and then did one quick over with soap and a.
You guys are crazy.
Nowadays, I'm hard. I'm like, I need to keep it natural and just aired and heal up and hope for the best.
Well, you've heard of like Neosporin or like the triple antibiotic. Like ointment stuff. I actually had a Navy medical guy said, actually, that's not as good as just plain warm soap and water to scrub it out is actually better than putting in, because the oil just holds, that ointment just holds germs in there if there are any. So it's better to scrub it out first.
And also if it's not in a particularly dirty environment, that like you had the board, there's probably not that much to begin with. So just let it.
Well, it was the joist that's been sitting there for 5 years,
Oh, okay. Then.
So it was dirty enough.
20, yes, exactly, Curtis. On next week's Gabbin, Flesh Wounds and You Together Again.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm as a paladin, I'm immune to disease, so I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly. You're fine. You don't have to worry about it. Yep.
I'm sorry. I got a sidebar for 10 seconds. So Tim's running an aftermath game, and he's like, "What do you bring?" And I say, I bring a set of Bobby Flay steak knives and a tube of Neosporin. That's all I needed, right, Tim? In that mission, that was all I took. And a loincloth. That was it. Yeah, those were the days. So
Jay refused to make a character based off of himself because the idea of losing his family to the possible zombies was too much.
Yeah,
and he was like, I would go insane. I would never be a part of the survival because I would go insane.
So
I respected that and let him be his crazy.
Yeah.
Who got blasted point blank with a shotgun, by the way. He got shot with a shotgun.
Of course I did. Hatter World, you want to type in exclamation point drawing to get in the drawing. Exclamation point drawing is what you want to do with no space. That'll do it. I don't want to do it myself because I don't want to get in there. So, but yeah, that'll get you into the drawings for the giveaways for the Ravenlofts. So, Tim, we were talking about this ad, which is like one of the best ones ever. With Ravenloft, like, wow, this, because we're, the great Dragonlance isn't out yet. We're in high school.
What ad are we talking about?
This one, it's up. Trespassers. This is my home, Ravenloft. With the cover, it's up on the screen now. See it?
Better enlarge that bad boy. Hold on.
Enlarge mine. Tim's a little feeling it now. So, yep. Trespassers. Yeah,
no, I don't ever remember the ad.
Really?
The best ad was playing in the game.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We're going to get to that. No doubt about it, because we got some stories. We have some Ravenloft stories for you all here. But when this came out, none of us had any idea where is it set, because there really wasn't in AD&D a lot of neutrally placed adventures in AD&D. There were tournament adventures, and normally there would be like, well, it goes in this hex on Greyhawk, right? But you didn't know about that when Ravenloft came out. You know, it was one of those
It could have
things.
been placed a lot of places, anywhere really.
Hey, Mike. Yeah. October 83. Yeah. So I am 16 at the time. Yeah. So
Going
I
on.
am a junior. I'm a junior because it's going. Yeah. I'm a junior at that time. Beginning of the junior year. So they began
year was
work on
that?
Ravenloft in the late 70s. Wow. That's interesting.
What year was that?
Well, Ravenloft itself is 83.
Oh, that you
same
ran
year
it.
as the box set.
Oh, geez, I don't even remember. That's the thing. It's in the first 100 adventures I ran Ravenloft. It was right after
Yeah.
Temple of Elemental Evil. Yeah, it was got to be 87. I ran it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when I played it too. I didn't play it when it came out. I played it a few years afterwards.
So with this, you're like, what's going on here? I can't wait to get my hands on this. Right. And that was the first thing that came to me was I cannot wait to get my hands on this adventure because I just don't know. I want to know about this. Wow. Like cool vampire, you know, that's neat. And, you know, it's something different. And it was so great because it was setting neutral. Exactly, Ron. It was setting neutral. Yeah, throughout some fog, Blam and Raven, off you go. And that's part of the thing. And it was Barovia at the time. Yeah, even though anything other than Red Box back then, so you weren't even playing. You were just AD. You were D&Ding it up then, Mike, which is cool. So when you open it up and you get these unbelievable maps, these multicolored maps, so like that was
had the it had the angled view too, right?
Oh yeah, here we go.
Of the castle itself.
The problem is they're sideways. So what I did was this. I did
this. Return. You can kind of.
I did this.
Maybe.
There we go. So yeah. They had the and
what do you call that? The view?
Isometric.
Isometric view.
Isometric.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. When it's like forced 3D, so it can go on in infinity, and it's the same size.
Thanks, Mitch.
So it's diamond-shaped little things. So the squares are a certain angle. So so it's kind of not a natural 3D. It's a forced 3D. So everything it doesn't go away. It just go up and down, but it looks like real 3D, so to speak. So it's interesting. It's often used in CAD drawings and stuff too.
Gives you 3D inputs, but still keeping it with a two-dimensional aspect. I like it.
Exactly. So the squares that is furthest away is the same size as the one that is closest. So that's why it feels a bit weird and but it works for architectural stuff and indoors. But and it can work for outdoors too. But it looks kind of forced a little bit. So yeah.
So
I think I should try to do this for the Dark Tower maps. That would be great.
It would be good. It's really good for multi-level and towers, especially. Now, there's an artist from Sweden who does all his buildings like this too, that Anna and I were looking at. So I know how momentous this adventure is, and that is because our dearly departed friend, when I asked, you can't count your own adventures, Len. What's your favorite adventure of all time? And Lenwood said Ravenloft, the original Ravenloft, because number one, because it was groundbreaking with these maps.
Yeah.
And that was, even Leonard acknowledged how cool this stuff was at the time.
Well, yeah, because you have to remember these were hand drawn. They were not done in a computer software. Right. They were most likely hand drawn.
Dave Sutherland. They're all Dave Sutherland. It says it right there.
Yeah.
So he did them all, which is.
But there were some visual aids to do this, because there is like a special overlay that has these lines in that forced perspective that you can use, but you still have to kind of shift them and then draw, so to speak. So I experimented a bit, but never got any off. I needed computers to do it.
So it's the beginning of a new era. I know Wednesday night we had our discussion about the fall of TSR. Let's ignore all that. This is 83. This is like golden era time.
Mm-hmm.
The box sets are doing, the D&D sets are still doing good. We are in the, Arcane hasn't come out yet. It's about to come out. We have all these great adventures. Because 81, there was an influx of a ton of adventures. B series adventures, all different sorts of stuff was coming out. And then this breaks. And it's just like, wow, next generation. And I'm excited. I was really excited for this. And I waited to run this until I had the right party. It's just like anything else. You get an adventure module, and especially when you're a kid, what's the worst thing you can do? We're gonna run this tomorrow, right?
You get together, some people are barely interested, and then the cat is out of the bag. You can't run it again. You have to wait 15 years to do it.
You got to digest it. You got to digest it and kind of own it first.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. So, Tim, did you ever run this for anyone? You just played. Just played. Okay.
Just played it.
I realized that I played in it, I think it was 87, 88 or something like that once. And I think we played it through. I can't remember the detail. I was just a player. And then I actually played in a 5e game that was based on Ravenloft a couple of years ago. But that was kind of homebrewed, modified version of it with 5e.
Which is nothing wrong. That was a setting though, right, Anna? That wasn't like,
well, it was set in Barovia, but it was more than just the adventure. It was more like being in Ravenloft. I mean, ran the campaign for like 10 sessions or something like that. So that was fun. Yeah.
So here we go. Let me go back. I'm bouncing screens a lot. I apologize.
Yeah.
Tim, feel free to eat. We ran every Halloween. Always Tiki Pay, but that's cool there, Mike Celestian. That is awesome. Mm-hmm. Look at the numbers. I just did 965 last night. So look at the adventures on this list. This is the early days. Ravager of Time, Baltron Speak, and Hamlet read, because we're hitting the temple. This is the first round of the temple.
Now look right after the temple.
Yeah, Cavalier School. You remember that one, Tim?
Altamira.
That's
right?
the founding of Altamira. Ravenloft number 40. Ravenloft 251. You also have Destiny of Kings on here. You got Lost Down in Castanimir. You got Tharsden and Shokanth on here. And then you have Egg of the Phoenix, which is a really, really unbelievably large. And if you have those modules that are broken up, those Falk series modules, the R's, they're worth a fortune. They're like some of the most valuable adventures you can have from the what is it called? The Adventuring Guild back then when they brought them out of Gen Con. So there, just to show you how early we're talking about when we ran this. Now, there's some great events. House Reveal is one of my go-to dungeons. I mostly run from memory, partially due to rejoining the map CD and converting to smart, pretty cool. RPGA, thanks, Curtis. I'm tongue-tied still. So, what do you do with this, and where do you place this in your Greyhawk? And I had this discussion last night with Gary Julian. I said, Gary, because Gary's a purist, and so be it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I said to him, Gary, I'm going to tell you where I placed it, and don't get mad at me, but I placed it in Keeland. He's like, well, I see that Keeland's very Eastern European. I think that's perfect. So let me bring up our wonderful map here, and then we can discuss this. And I don't know for those of you who and it doesn't matter if you play Greyhawk or not. Okay, it's just some ideas. I liken it to, and we got to remember, we have in this area here. Look at this. How ironic. What is this right here, Anna? The Rotted Tower.
Vecna's Rotted Tower. Yeah,
that's where Vecna comes from. I always
where he resided.
Where he resided, but yeah, the destroyed Fleeth is right here where he destroyed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have always placed it. These baronies were not named originally, so I had always placed it in the north border between Grand March and Keoland, in this area near the Rushmores, thinking, well, there should be a swampy area here. So that's the irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I need to, because when you read the adventure, the idea is that it's supposed to be an isolated realm that you can't get to or you can't escape from unless you are either invited or let out, so to speak. So to me, that sounds like you can have Strahd could have like an influence over Greyhawk somewhere that he takes his future subjects from or something, but it's not be in Greyhawk. Is that a dumb idea, or because I get a sense that it's supposed to be like out in the ethereal, hidden away somewhere in mists and whatever.
But it could be it couldn't be like a mythic location that's like it's there, but unless you walk the correct path.
Exactly, you have to.
Dale says Neural makes sense. Yeah, no, you're right, Tim. So, but for me, I'm how old? 16 at the time, or no, we ran this in '87. So I'm in college, and I'm thinking to myself,
you're like 19 or 20, right?
Yeah, I want a place. I want this. I don't know what else they're coming out with. I want it. I want it somewhere if they put other adventures here, right? So, but and they did.
I want to say there's one place that I think would be really well suited for this too, and that's Black Splinter near Reldevin. There you have a vampire necromancer already. You can just switch, either keep the name or just rename it Black Splinter and run the adventure, so to speak. Yeah, it's north of Reldevin. There you are. Yeah, so a little bit north. There you go.
Right here. Look, Marsh. That's another great place.
Black Splinter. When I read about Black Splinter, I was like, it's Ravenloft written all over it. So it's kind of, it's almost there. You can read even the Undying, and you can get the details, and then you can use the floor plans and the interior of the adventure Ravenloft and call it Black Splinter if you want to keep it aligned with the rest of even Undying and the story around it, so to speak, or you can call it Ravenloft and rename it on the map too.
Yeah.
For all the people intimidated by the geography, you could also put it nowhere. Unless you're running a game where they're going to travel the 3 months to get there, and you're going to nitty gritty out every single night they're camping and all the thieves they run into in the towns and the resupply and the side treks. Unless you're doing all that, it really doesn't matter where you put it.
Yeah, and you can just bring them in, so to speak. So I think one of the beauties with this is an adventure you don't have to place. You can just run it. In a way, you just need, the player characters just need to be ambushed or just ambushed by the vampire. That's when we ran it the first time and ran it more like the way it's supposed to. We would just walk out. I forgot where we were. We were somewhere, and then this mist came and we couldn't go back, and all of a sudden we were there, and there was no escape. We were just trapped there.
Exactly. So think about this. There's no campaign setting of Ravenloft. There's only one adventure module. We don't know what they're doing. So whether the mists are there and then you go into the mists and it takes you to Barovia at that spot, or it's actually there physically, but the mist conceal it, it's immaterial.
Exactly. That's something you as a DM can decide what suits you and your campaign.
Absolutely.
It's like the Castle Anthrax.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but then we can say that later they developed the Ravenloft module into a mini campaign set with different realms and the whole shebang. But we get to that later.
So Dale said Neural. Okay, that would work in the Neural area. That would work too. I mean, a lot of places will work, and I have no problem with. What
you can do is you can simply swap out the existing lore of an area in Greyhawk and replace with this. Just don't make it into a super civilized area where you, because then you might mess up a lot of other things, so to speak. So just think a little bit carefully where you want to do it, but there are lots of places you can do it.
Yeah. So your digs, we're gonna go get into the Azalan thing. In the second part, I guarantee it, because it's like a minor little blip of Azalan turns into, just like anything else. How come they always take any lich that is in any publication and then the lich is elevated to status?
But liches they have such an attraction force and they are a force of nature in fantasy. Liches are one of the coolest things in fantasy. So
the only one that wasn't was Asperdes, and then Gary kind of gave a backstory on that. But Vecna, Acererak,
he kind of slipped under the radar for some reason, and it wasn't brought up.
I kind of got distracted. What you said, every lich, they do what with them?
They elevate it to a grandiose story
Yeah.
You know, like
They
a Zalen.
become a thing that they take off and look at Vecna, so to speak. They're halfway there. Well, they're mentioned somewhere in a little byline, and all of a sudden they have an adventure and a backstory and the whole shebang.
The basic line for every lich or demi-lich is fear of death and addiction to power. And that's it. So they're really kind of
they are kind of stereotypical.
Pathetic people. They're pathetic people. So they're destined for misery and failure and destruction in the end anyway.
Yeah. But I think that stereotype is probably a little bit of the appeal in fantasy wise, so to speak. It's
like they can be tragic.
Yeah.
Depending on how they act.
There are a few exceptions, though. There are even a good lich that Gary Julian described in one of the Worth journals that was set up in that was also in the northern near.
If you magic jar yourself, you don't even need to be a lich.
Yeah, there you go.
Like see, you don't want to talk about witches.
Just feeble mind somebody and take their body and just keep jumping from body to body.
That's another good discussion, though. We should have a discussion on the witches. I should really get Timothy Brown on the show, and we should do a witch discussion at some point. Definitely. So, hey, Bones, we start off. Sorry I had to kill you last night, but it was Big Bones I killed last night. So, so Tracy and Laura Hickman bring it, right? They bring it with this adventure. This almost looks like Underdark with the colors here, right? I guess because it's mysterious, and as they said, hey, let's make it purple.
Yeah, and I'm going to bite my tongue and not say anything more about the colors because I was just about to say something dumb. So
the Joker theme.
Yeah, it's a little bright.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything more.
Okay,
so
that's all right. No problem. I know you as a cartographer,
but I must say that overall, considering the age of this adventure, the graphics and production values are really high. Apart from the colors of that map, but that you have to screw up somewhere.
So Dale, yes, my world's like an R.A. Salvatore novel. No one ever dies permanently, but that's not true. I think we have 70. I counted them about a year ago. 72 PCs that have died permanently. So even though I just brought one back 35 years ago, even though we lost a sheet afterwards, we're still looking, right, Tim?
So then, when you lose the sheet, that actually means that the character is beyond recovery?
Yeah, I never brought any books with me or anything, so it's like
it's just bizarre.
As you would say in the army, I'm befuddled. Excuse me.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of funny? Isn't that the criteria for not being able to revive a character? Is that the character is literally lost?
Yeah.
The sheet is in the ether somewhere. I'll pen in all those missing magic items.
Yeah.
It is. But you know what? Like I said, it's a heroic version of Greyhawk, and so be it. Yep. You know. And it's it works for our players.
Jay doesn't actually really stick it to you. Like I used to do that in the early years. You know, if you needed to get a restoration or regeneration, you could go. There was a deal between this bank and the church, so they would send you over to get a loan to be able to afford it. And then once they owe that money, you take all their treasure until it's paid off. So, you know, that can be fun.
And like last night, Eric Boyd's half ogre's down. Do I need to kill him? He's at -8. Do I need to like?
He was begging for it. He's been begging for his entire career.
That's not my style. I'm not a vicious DM like that. Just to kill someone.
But it was kind of fun to torture him by not killing him. Yeah.
It should depend on the monster. It should depend on the.
Well,
yes, I agree with you, Tim.
You put someone in the negative. You put someone in the negatives in old school. They're out. So you got to get the baddie's got to take out all the others first, right? I mean, that's just my theory on it. So
well, even John's Barbarian, when he was charmed, he knocked the guy in the negatives, but he wasn't satisfied. He had to finish him.
Well,
off.
Yeah, that was John. Well,
that was
Alex is on now too, by the way. Yeah, there can be less stuff. No, it's all good, Dan. We're having fun with this. We're having fun with this conversation. So,
what happened?
Dale's just busting some stones, which which is is funny. It's okay.
Yeah, he derailed it. So let's blame him. That's fine.
Yes.
We're easy to derail today.
So, yeah, we are. We're easily after last night. So
Yep.
Count Strahd von Zarovich, vampire. Oh, so see, yeah, Dale, you did derail me. Does anyone think this is too low? Oops. Levels 5 to 7? No. 5 for this? You ain't getting that.
But the idea is that you're going to waste a lot of characters on this. I get the sense when I read through it that you're supposed to wipe out some TPKs because it's supposed to be kind of a memorable occurrence if you actually manage to go through it.
Yeah.
Especially when you read if you have the follow-up adventure, you don't want you to party to succeed. So you want to kind of wipe them out at least.
Well,
almost. Yeah.
6. I see it more at 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8 is where I think I see it. 5, I think is. Although I did throw 6th level characters up against a Dragon Lich last night, but so I held back.
Yeah, but we
bit
almost
on
died.
That.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. But Strahd's he's got the abilities of a vampire. He doesn't have max hit points.
I was just going to say he looks, but now I'm used to modern day rule systems. He looks so meager and measly little. Meaning, come on, he wouldn't have been a boss monster in a beginner's game even. He's kind of. I know he's supposed to be tough guy, but when I read the stat block, it's like, no, not much. You can't scare any fifth new players with it.
Though, a boss. If you look at it in the real world, I don't know if Hitler was that great in hand-to-hand combat, but he had
that's true. Exactly. That's the point.
And villainy and power around himself, and so that's what you need. And he's got enough power to like have a ton of minions to do his bidding. That means he's powerful.
That's a good point.
He's powerful more in political sense more than in a personal sense.
Well, I know my character aged 30 years before you even get to Strahd.
Yeah. Absolutely. What's up, Tino? And good to see everyone. So
it was bad.
This is groundbreaking too. And I know the stereotype is bad here, everyone. I didn't write it. None of us wrote it, but we're going to talk. There's gypsies in here. Okay. All right.
Well, yeah, and that was one of my criticisms. And let's get the cat out of the bag.
Yes.
This is an era when before modern day sensitivities and also modern day sensibilities, so to speak, that it's written in a language that it's not. It wouldn't fly today.
What was the problem with the gypsies?
Gypsy is like the N word, so to speak. It's a derogatory term in.
I mean, culturally, they are thieves. Culturally. I mean, come on.
See, there you go again, so to speak. So, you should not call. You don't call a group of people, hundreds of thousands of millions of people, something derogatory like that. You don't. That's at least not in a
I know I saw
Tim's in military base. We'll drop this topic.
Oh yeah, I agree with it. I don't agree with you, but I know that a lot of people have that. It is a stereotype, and we have to acknowledge that these people have been treated, especially in Europe, horribly.
Romani would be better. Be better.
Yeah, but no, you should not use a real world term at all.
Well, I agree on that. No, that's true.
100%
true.
Yeah, just skip the real world. Don't call them real world.
Rennie would be fine here. The Rennie would have been fine.
But they renamed them the Vistani.
Vistani, yes, they did.
Then it's good, so to speak. And so avoid real world cultural stereotypes. Don't single out real world pop people and stuff like that, and you're fine. And religions.
I guess that was partly an issue too with the first deities and demigods with the with the Indian mythos and not American.
American Indian, all that stuff. Just no one hears. Just note that they're there, and we have. Yeah,
it's just one of these things that when you read it now, you have to take that into account. That it was a different. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, and I think it's bad. It's really badly written that way.
That I agree. And they did change it to Vistani, and like I said, Rennie would have been fine too, because the Rennie are unique.
But Rennie is a specific type of people in
In
Greyhawk
Greyhawk.
that might not have fit the adventure, so to speak.
I think they were sticking to the vicinity of the real source of the story, which is Dracula.
Yes.
Well, true.
And that's where
they're sticking to Transylvania, which is
southeastern Europe.
Romania.
That's where.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's why there are
absolutely, and
which makes it even worse in that sense, because then you really single out some people in the real world.
I mean,
and you make stories.
in the adventure, were they bad? I mean, I don't
No.
remember.
No, they were not really bad. The problem is that there will be like using slavery and say, oh, it's Black Americans or something like that. It's like it's you don't. It's something that don't stick your nose into it.
Well, as soon as you say it, you get an idea of the way they travel, the kind of clothes they wear, and
exactly
and
that's
kind
the
of their
thing.
belief
That's why
system.
they should have not dipped their toes into real world ethnicities.
I'm going to give you another example.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the second James Bond movie, From Russia with Love, where they have a gypsy? They have two gypsy families fighting. The two women are fighting over the guy and stuff, and Sean Connery's sitting there. Okay, I don't think that's another thing. It's not going to go over too well, and that was in the '60s.
I know a fellow lieutenant colonel in the Air Force whose house got robbed by.
Okay, it's okay. Hey, my house got robbed. My previous house got robbed in South Jersey. Remember? And that was some guy who was on drugs.
No, what I respect is their professionalism. They are professional, skilled. I mean, that's all.
It's all good. Just know. I just wanted to get it out there. This is a mistake. They should have used another term back then.
Well, they should have had their own. They should have had their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their own cultural.
Yeah, but I think that Madcam too. I think you're into something. This is a sensibility. This is something that we have screwed up in Europe for hundreds of years.
Yep.
And that means that just like you have the N word in America that you're not supposed to use. Because
well, I know in France they have a whole bunch of. Barriers for the height that can get into parking lots at malls because they've had issues with traveling
groups,
peoples of different types who come in with their caravans that are too big and then never leave for months and months. Yeah. So I mean,
so in Europe, you treated these people horrible for centuries, and even in Sweden too, up until very recently, and still there's a lot of people who still have ideas and treat them badly, so to speak. So
I know the Italians are treating them very nicely. They gave them all sorts of stuff.
We will get by this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That they should just avoid the issue in games.
Absolutely.
We don't have. This is a typical example of the discussion you get into. Don't use it in adventure.
Right. Exactly.
Get into this.
Use the
this is
Vistani.
exactly a
Use
perfect
the Rennie.
example of.
The Rennie are perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, Rennie are perfect. The problem with Rennie is that people who are not Greyhawkian or maybe Greyhawk fans will say, no, that's not my version of it or something. It depends on what setting, how much you want to tie the adventure into a setting or not.
Yeah, Rennie,
I don't remember in the module. Was there anything significant about them?
No. So first of all, you have a fortune teller. You come to the fortune teller's stand. Okay.
That can be anything, really.
Right. I'm just stating that it was. It was
so there's a fortune teller, so it could be just like the local people have the fortune teller lady.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just note that was the point that we have.
I think Little Bones is meaning you just invent the nomadic people that have something to do with Strahd and made a deal with him and move on, so to speak, and carry on with the adventure.
I would use Rennie here because it's my Greyhawk, and that's what I would
think they did the right. TSR did the right thing. They called them Vistani and gave them their own little cultural identity, and which I think was good. Yeah.
Jay, I got to tell you, I don't remember a darn thing about anyone like that from the game. So.
No problem. Which is good. So there are Strahd's goals, which you find out in the cards. You can find some fortunes out, and some couple key things here. Strahd wants to make a magical sphere of darkness. Strahd wants to win the love of Arena Kuliana. That'll come up. Strahd wants the Sun Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't my guy either. My guy did not have a Sun Sword.
Okay.
But I don't think I remember that because my guy was a paladin. He was like, vampire? Well, it's just time to kill that guy. And I don't need any other reason.
Yep. So the lands of Barovia are set. There's random encounters. There's wandering encounters in the lands of ghosts. and ghouls. It's nasty. A maiden vampire. I mean, there's stuff out here in random encounters you just don't. I mean, that are really horrifying. So
because you could lose a couple levels before you even reach it. So Strahd is badass because he's got all these lady vampires running around.
Yeah, he's got a ton of them.
And I guess that the idea is that you should be half dead when you finally meet him, so to speak.
There are so many vampires in this adventure. So you have planned encounters. They want to give you some planned encounters, but you have a lot of random encounters. They have encounters along the road. So through Barovia, and that's what a lot of these are. A lot of wargs too, because it doesn't go into like the church. It doesn't go into the religion of the church. So you can set that, if I recall correctly. It also goes into the background on Arena Coliana here. That she was not the natural daughter of Colion in Arovich. So, yeah, and that's kind of a little catch in this. Lycanthropes, I don't remember.
Everyone knows the Lycan and the vampires have been fighting for generations.
Yes, another
thousands of years. Oh, sorry, wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Wrong vampire myth. Sorry.
Yeah, the Sun Sword belongs to Thundar the Barbarian. Well, Thundar the Barbarian. Here's an irony. That's a good point, Dale. Came out in 1982, a year before this.
And where was Thundar? Where was Thundar the Barbarian? Where did it take place?
On Earth.
In the future.
Yes.
So who published Thundar the Barbarian?
Well, it was a comic. Right, it was a TV show for kids.
So it had nothing to do with TSR.
No.
So TSR took the idea wholesale and just put it in here.
Mm-hmm.
His Sun Sword was a vibroblade. It was Gamma World straight up, and the sorceress was like a mutant, basically, who had powers. It was straight up Gamma World. If you look at it now, you'd be like, "Oh my word!"
Dale, those swords don't appear until after Arcana. They're not in the original Dungeon Master's Guide. Thundar was great. It was only one season too. A lot of the shows you remember as kids, like, oh, this is awesome, like Josie and the Pussycats. And all. They were only one season.
Do you remember Lothar of the Hill People?
Yeah. Yep.
Sun Sword lightsaber.
Yeah. So, did they take it? Did they take it from Thundar? I have a question now for Tracy Hickman if we ever get him on.
Yeah, but it could be called generic term, and he can say that he came up with it just like the other ones did. So yeah, if he didn't steal the properties of it, that
we all get Anna, we all get inspiration from somewhere.
Exactly, right? But yeah, and yeah, so yeah.
So eventually, you're going to get to Castle Ravenloft, and this is important because these are the wandering monster encounter tables, and I'm going to tell you a little story down the road here. This is outside the castle. Angry villagers. Yeah, I guess they're gonna show Strahd, some funny stuff. Bats, gargoyles, Strahd zombies. They actually Wizards in the 2000s made. I have some of them. The zombie miniatures, the plastics.
What's a Strahd zombie?
They're hit dice 4, not 2.
Yeah, and they are more difficult to turn too.
Are they faster?
Turn as mummies or something, or whatever it is.
They turn as mummies. They do the same damage, but if their attack rolls 5 higher than what they need to hit, they dismember you. Special attack hit of 5 or more points dismembers.
Takes your arm off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are much nastier.
I'll throw the flag out on the play. I'll throw the flag out on the play on that one.
That's pretty nasty. But over here, inside the keep, this is very important. Vampires 1 to 4. Here's the Banshee, the groaning spirit.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to that. Rust monsters 1 to 6 specters. A helpful spirit 1 to 6.
And you need some high-powered clerics in here.
Yeah. If they lose them, it keeps on attacking. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, and the clerics are hampered because you're in the plane of dread, which means that they are not as effective as they would normally.
Not yet. because you're not in the plane of
Oh,
dread.
that's true. So the first adventure, you
don't know about that
oh,
yet.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's a good point, though, and it hasn't
Yeah.
gotten to that point yet on the adventure.
Yeah, because I remember we had that issue. Whether that was in the
Oh,
adventure
yeah.
or not, I'm not.
No, you're absolutely correct. And here, number 6, Strahd himself is a random encounter.
Oh yeah, because he can appear in different places, so it has good replay value. This adventure.
It's cool. It is cool.
So he can like slam you with like 5-6 different spells, and then just go gaseous and say, "See you later."
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that happened once.
Go heal up and then come back again. Oh.
And they also have some nasty little cool traps that involve teleportation and various other things that are kind of really nasty. And that's the other thing. They've taken a lot of, I would say liberties might be too strong of a word, but they kind of adapted rules. So the DM has some, I would say, railroady stuff, meaning if you go in there, you're going to suffer it, period, so to speak. So there is some cool things that Strahd can do and his minions that player characters can't do. And normally I don't like that. I want it to be the same rules for everybody, so to speak. But on the other hand, considering the nature of the adventure, I can totally understand why it is a good design idea to do that in order to scare the bejesus out of the players.
So, Gabriel, I think the zombie is just limbs. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't do.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think it was mentioned heads. Yeah.
Probably back keys, yeah. Once again, D&D Romero zombies, yes. So once again, they're pulling from existing things and trying to make it a little different. I have no problem.
Everybody pulls from Romero because he's the godfather of the zombie.
Yes.
Yeah, and this adventure is full of cliches from the first to the last page. Everything is very, very cliche.
What is
even names to the theme and stuff?
What is George Romero's greatest work?
Children shouldn't play with dead things.
No.
Oh.
Come on. Night Riders, jousting on motorcycles.
I've heard you talked about that. I had no idea.
Yes, it's in my. I got that.
But yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'll tell you, that was the first time with my cousin, we were secretly watching HBO. It was on HBO, and it's the first time I saw boobies on TV.
The Night Riders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Ed Harris flaying himself in the water. Remember at the beginning of the adventure, he's whacking himself.
How old was he then? 20 or something? Yep.
Yeah, he was still bald though. It was 1981. He still didn't have any hair.
He was bald when he was like a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's pretty old now. Yeah. So
yeah.
I knew I had a friend in college who already had a hairline that was back to here almost. So he was going bald in college. So
that's definitely George Romero. Yeah, and even Stephen King's in the movie. By the way, he's got he says like 3 lines in it. So pretty interesting. They're coming for you, Barbara.
Well, I know they did an actual add-on for the Dying Light game to commemorate him when he passed away. There's actually a wall mural in the game of Romero because he's and there's a bunch of zombies that are just kind of standing in front of it, kind of like paying homage.
I found it. There you go. There's Ed Harris.
Yeah. On a Honda CBX. Yeah.
Oh, is that what that is, Anna?
Yeah, it's a Honda.
Wow,
CBX,
look at you!
6-cylinder. Yeah, I was motorcycle freak back then. So yeah. I had a CB 750 when that came out, and I had one of the people in our biking group had a CBX, a silver CBX that was 82 or 83 or something like that when it came out.
Did you ride them like the 2 months it was warm in Sweden?
Oh yeah, we usually took them out in May and rode until 1st of October. It was ritual. Yeah, so every May 1st, almost no matter what the weather was, we took our bikes out and drove and so on. So yeah, so I've actually tested the CBX. It was
man, there'll be a lot of that would be a very windy roads, right?
So
well, it's not it looks cool, but it's not. Don't get into motorcycles. I can talk in forever.
So. Yeah. If you ever visit my basement, like Anna has, I have that poster up on my wall. It's in perfect condition. I have 1 of 10 in existence. That's my big poster that I got when we moved into the house. Was a Night Riders poster. That movie is. Yes. So
it was 1,000 cc.
Yeah, Darling says if you couldn't get any cooler, Anna, riding that motorcycle. Look at that.
No, I had a Kawasaki that was originally GP said 900, but I had a 1280 cc engine in it with 100.
Did you have like a motorcycle
horsepower.
riding suit? Did you have like a special suit for like when you rode your motorcycle?
Oh yeah, I had a leather suit and all that with like knee pads and all that and big back protection and stuff.
That was one of the things I noticed in Europe when I was a kid. We traveled when I was in high school. We went to Europe, and I just noticed that anybody who's doing like motorcycling, they had like a full on. It was like you had this.
Oh yeah,
you had the
both
kit
for temperature
that went with
protection.
the bike
Yeah,
and everything else.
Cruise.
Yeah, you had one that was custom made for your size and stuff. So that was super cool. Yeah.
As opposed to here, we got some jeans and a white t-shirt and maybe a helmet.
And it was Tom Cruise.
I have pictures of my motorcycle. That was it. So yeah.
She felt the need for speed.
Oh yeah, I rode 328 kilometers with it. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So, that's funny. Everyone knows that's okay. This is we're having fun tonight. That's all. Yeah, this is cool. One of I'm not allowed to have a motorcycle. It's one of 3 things I'm not allowed to have. Right?
I didn't ask anyone for permission. I just bought one.
I've got pre-agreement.
Jay answers to a higher authority.
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
It's one of 3.
I actually took a day off illegally from high school and went and bought a bike.
Nice.
My mother
was it
so
illegal
angry.
or is it just bending the rules? Really?
Bending the rules. Yeah. So my mother got a report and she was so angry. Yeah. Yeah.
That is awesome. So we did the point was made that Strahd is very fan of the opera here, playing, and also Scooby-Doo playing the organ, just like
and illustrations overall are really good in this adventure. And Clyde Caldwell did a lot of the
Is that a Clyde Caldwell signature right there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey,
CA.
Here's the question, Jay.
Yes.
On that sort of organ, somebody has to be pumping it. Who is pumping the organ to make sure it keeps its pressure up?
Yes, like some zombie or skeleton.
There needs to be something pumping it. So who's doing that? Do they have that
an animated undead or something that sits there and do the.
I'm going to tell you who's doing it. Bill Reese's character Zeno.
Ooh.
Now
we're getting to that story. It's magic, exactly.
It's magic. It's D&D physics.
That character sheet.
Well, you better find that sheet, and you better find Galad. So I'm just kidding.
I don't have it.
I know it's in the wind somewhere for both of us. All right, so there's a lot of things going on in here. I don't want to ruin the whole adventure for anyone who hasn't run it yet, but there's a lot of names. Like, look, Helga Vampire's the maid. Yes, Helga.
It's very German, either Germanic German names or kind of Southeast
Gertrude.
European, like Romanian, Bulgarian, or Polish sounding and stuff. Those are there. So it's very stereotypical cliche adventure, but technically,
they speak with a horrible accent that's Eastern European / Germanic.
Yeah.
Helga.
See, when I think of Helga, I think of Fräulein Helga. There's 2 of them, Fräulein Helga and Fräulein Hilda from Hogan's Heroes. Those 2.
Yep.
It's fun. Q is right. Blucher. They have lightning flashing.
All right. Yeah. So you have the Drelsna picture from Shokanth. Then you have this awesome picture as well. I mean, fantastic, right? They're very similar looking. Face.
You probably use the same model.
Yeah, I would say so. But,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and this is Arena. Yeah, so it turns out that she's someone that Strahd is once.
So Strahd is remembering this old person, this lady who died years ago, and this one's very similar. Blah blah blah. The same old.
Yeah, it's
right? Dracula does that too.
It is, but it's cool. And it's wonderful. The artwork's wonderful.
And that's if you weren't lawful good enough to have a reason to do something. This gives you a reason.
Yep. Oh my God, man, Cam! Yeah, he's Caldwell's art. It's unbelievable. This is one. This and the Drelsna. You wish. Where's the? If there were original colors of these, I don't know if these were black and white or not. Like I have the Wayne Reynolds ones. I wanted. They're long destroyed. This one and the Drelsna, I would make the investment on. They're just awesome.
It might be an idea to look through the art books, because if they were colored, they might be colors in here. So because there are
who owns the
scans
originals
and stuff.
Yeah.
and they are very
responsible.
good scans and stuff in here.
Oh yeah, the map. Yeah, the map is just Matt makes it absolutely makes the adventure. It makes
It's visually stunning, and it gives you a sense of the 3-dimensional aspects of the archetype.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's a.
Hey,
Visually stunning.
I see you lurking, Sensei. Good to see you. Sensei Suplex. It's really good to see you on here hanging out. We're talking talking some old school Ravenloft here. So look, we even have witches, 7 of them. Now they're not the dragon witches that are so nasty. They're just like mages, And
I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch.
Tim. Yeah. All sorts of things here. Now, if I recall correctly, here's the story. We're running this, and Marco, you remember Mark, and of course, right?
Oh yes.
Mark has a couple friends from his high school.
I really miss him.
Yeah, we all do. One of them named Bill Reese. He has his character Zeno Cram, this thief. This half is he human? He's either human or half elf. I think he's human. Human thief, chaotic, stupid. Perfect chaotic, stupid character. Okay, and he's driving Tim crazy.
Now let's be real. Like, I'm playing Galilad, who's lawful good.
Yeah.
And then there's me, who's really annoyed at this guy. So let's not mix them, because there's.
But you do mix.
Well, I mix properly.
Really? Okay. So here's a funny one. He mixes properly. Hey, Jay, when John's here Thursday, can I play my 18th level halfling thief Leuven so I can steal everything he has on his character?
That would be hysterical. I know your answer ahead of time, so it doesn't even count.
Right? Okay. Come on, that was funny. So this is the stirring the pot room. And so they ignore these witches.
Wait. Stirring the pot room. You got to explain what's in the room.
The witches are in the room, and one is stirring a pot, right?
And we've tried to talk to them because they're not initially aggressive.
Right. Yeah.
There's one of them. It's like a guy or
no, they're all women. They're all witches.
Women, and they're very suspicious, but they're not doing anything offensive. They're just there, like they're the staff. It's not their fault, right?
Right. Yeah.
So they're very suspicious, and we want to move on, but we don't want to keep going. Tim thinks,
whoops,
wrong
button.
This chaotic, stupid guy is ticking me off. I want to, do something to this player. So he concocts a reason that his paladin says, you know what? This person is very suspicious, and I think having them behind us would be a great detriment to the success of the adventure. Zeno, I think you are the most qualified to keep an eye on these people to ensure that they don't do any shenanigans and don't follow up and hinder us in our tasks. So,
and for some reason,
he stays.
He stays there. The rest of the party continues onward, and he stays there.
Fair.
You said, don't take your eye off the pot.
Galilad has 17 charisma, of course. So,
yes.
Or 18 charisma. So, obviously, now I don't have 18 charisma. However,
no, it's like 6.
He stayed.
He missed it.
It was perfect because he probably thought, oh, yeah, 1, he thought we're all going to die fighting the vampire. I get to hang back. And 2, he thought maybe there's something I can steal here. Yeah. So I'm getting over. So he's like, I'm getting over, right?
Yeah.
So it's a win-win. We continue on, and
he stays there, and I start rolling random encounters, just like I do everywhere else, by himself. Because he just for the life of us, we can't figure out why he's hitting. Even Shaggy and Scooby would run. Don't leave us. He stays there, and we're talking like 2 turns. The rest of the group's off. They have another encounter. He's still standing there. We don't know why, and I roll.
I'm very persuasive, Jay, and that's why.
Yeah. Yes, I guess I roll a random encounter. All of them are bad, right? As we know, these random encounters are disgusting. Right here, I roll number 2, groaning spirit, a banshee comes in,
We're not talking about Susie and the Banshees.
No, we're talking about a real Banshee. It comes in, it does its scream.
Ah!
Got you, Enoch. I'll get you back on that. He rolls a 1 on his save. Now, Tim, do you feel bad that you killed that character?
That is the best thing ever.
This is what we had to put up with in 1987.
Okay, now, although, can I do a sidebar? It's not related to Greyhawk, but it is related to the same player.
Yeah, go for it.
So, shortly after I did the whole every player makes up an evil character. We play him once. Well, I kept one of them, Atarava, who was a dark elf cleric.
Yes.
Which she disguised and pretended to be a cleric of Apollo, right? And this is not Greyhawk.
Yep.
He has a monk, a lawful good monk in the group. And there's some rare artifact out of time. There's a disjoint in time. And people want it. And of course, Atarava wants that thing.
Yeah, the dark elf.
Nobody's detected evil. No one's done anything. She's chaotic evil. And so Marco's character, who was a neutral evil thief, he was evil too. She threatens to kick his ass if he doesn't give her some money. So he gets, first she asks the monk to borrow money. So she borrows money from the monk who's guarding this artifact.
Right. Hey,
and that's the first half of the payment to the assassin to kill the monk.
Right.
So she borrows money from him to pay the assassin to kill him.
See, you're just a mean DM. I mean, you're so
bullies
awful.
The halfling. She bullies the halfling for the rest of it and pays off the assassin. Same guy.
Yeah, you're terrible.
That was my sidebar.
Those are the days where we're between like 17 to 21, 22. You get it, everyone. You've had those. We've all mellowed in our age.
You agreed to it.
Yeah, I know. Bill was not a good. This is not our bill. This is a different bill. This is not even the bill. This is not even the bill with the no just no bill. It's a different.
I guess basically maybe they were so early in their lives they weren't as suspicious as we all old people would be now. Now we would doubt anyone who comes up with some story.
Yeah, Matt. So note this, Matthew. They're not playing in my game anymore. Players come and go. Right? We all have them. We all have them come and go. It happens. The last one I had that left 12, 13 years ago. Right? The other Bill, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on what you know.
Oh.
So.
No, just no.
Yeah, no, just no. So we all have that. It's part of life. And, there's some sad moments. Marco, moved to Ohio and just hasn't had time. And it's part of the game, unfortunately. But we all have these ridiculous memories of dumb things that players did in our game. And this is one of them.
Like true life. If nothing bad happens, you don't have a good story.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of my best stories were really painful at the time, but now
it's the near TPKs that are a good story afterwards. Yeah,
exactly. Near TPKs, and if you watched a week ago Thursday when John from Blue Box was here, Tim's character Galad, who we're talking about, got killed by Norina the Witch. She got aged 100 years and killed, and I figured out a way for the story purposes. As it sure says, no one ever is dead permanently in my game. That she used a not carefully worded wish, did bring him back, but that was for the storyline. And John thought it was really cool. Tim thought it was really cool. And that way I got Tim. That way I got Tim off of the mind of, well, you weren't going to play Leuven. Everyone's 9th level. You're going to play an 18th level thief. So Also, I got
he would pretend to be lower level.
Yeah.
Maybe he's dementia. Maybe he's so old he has dementia now, so he's not as high level.
Yeah, Dale, you got to laugh about those. We have a lot of them, a lot of good stories. This is one of the funniest stories. But there's another story in here. All right, so more great artwork, right? Whoops. See, Jay is doing something stupid.
There's another funny one in here?
No, there's just a memorable fight.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, where some things, but some great artwork here. The basement is the most difficult place. The bottom level of this is. I don't know. Was there 22 vampires? There's some crazy number of vampires in here. 22, I think it is, along with all sorts of other undead. Look, there's even there's iron golems in here. This is not an easy. Remember, you need a +3 weapon.
All that. Did we skip that?
Some of it.
We didn't. We couldn't fight 21 vampires.
Well, remember, they don't all come out at the same time. This isn't an interview of a vampire where he's got the scythe and he's cutting all as they come out one at a time out of the right. Brad Pitt's character just waits for each one to come out of the thing and then cuts them in half. Yeah. So banshees are down here, all sorts of stuff. I think that is a picture.
I remember there was a crypt with a ghost in it.
Yep, there was a ghost too. Yep. It was a LARP in the Great Hall. There you go. Yep.
You know why I remember that?
Because you got aged 30 years.
Yellow Lad went from 25 years old to 55.
Right. He did. He got touched. He got hit by it and touched in age 30 years. Absolutely.
He killed it, but it was like, oh.
Yeah.
And he still aged 1 year because he did do a haste potion. Speed potion. Yeah.
So, Cthulhu, of course. Look, Greyhawk, I've been playing Greyhawk 42 years, so welcome, and hopefully you enjoying the discussion here. Yep. And please throw a follow if you would be so inclined. All right, Hellhound stuff. You fight, and then at the end, the very end is the Tomb of Strahd. It is a very the fight is supposed, and their Strahd's mount very. It
was so hard to get there.
Yeah, it was. It was. Here's my second story. Of this is Chuck. By the way, anyone who Chuck Cumbo is doing better. He had surgery over a couple days ago. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to get him. Hey, say hi on Twitch if able. For everyone to say hello. Yeah, Chuck's doing okay. So here's story number 2. Jester's Playhouse. Right, I think it was named. Remember, there was a D&D store in Wildwood, New Jersey, North Wildwood. Okay, back in the day that we used to go to when we were down the shore, and it had all sorts of old school stuff. It was great. I go in there, and the woman's behind the counter, and I'm like, "Hey, have you gotten this Ravenloft? Have you gotten this adventure?" And she goes, "Yeah, but it's too hard." I'm like, what do you mean too hard? Now, I don't think I had run it yet. I think I'm either junior or senior in high school, and I had
not told you that in the store.
Yeah, are you ready for this? It gets better, Anna. She says to me, I DM'd it. My party just didn't want to deal and go in there and deal with Strahd. This is a Kit Kat. So they burned the castle down.
See, there you go.
How do you burn a stone castle down?
Well, it happens in the real world, so it happens.
They burn because all the floors are wooden.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't going to kill Strahd. That's not going to kill
Strahd. Burned down the castle. It's kind of
I'm thinking to myself, that's the dumbest thing ever heard.
That DM, I like that DM. That's awesome. That's what I want to hear. They burned down the castle.
I was like, what? Yep. Hey, Hager.
Like Tegel Manor had special magics that would prevent the fires from happening like that.
Yeah, Troller Chuck.
I like that approach. Yep.
Too humid, too wet to burn.
Yep.
Yeah. But it was like it was one of those. I looked at her with my head cocked like this. I'm like, But hey, who was I back then?
Now, I did have a group burn the steading of the Hill Giants Chief down with a lot of fires.
Well, yeah.
Call lightning and affect normal fire and whatever. And so the upper level got burned.
Yeah, but that's not going to destroy all the coffins in the basement.
No,
so,
it's not. No, it's not.
Right, exactly.
It hits them off.
I wanted to say to her, that's lazy gaming, but I didn't because I was only a kid then. So, yeah. Exactly. That has a feel of the original Fistful of Dollars, where they burn the building and they all run out the front. And they just shoot them down as they run out. It kind of has that feel to it, but it's not going to work with vampires. Just wanted to throw that out there. That's another dumb story I had.
It's a number of players that are non-heroic, and so she had to allow it to happen to get the thing to move on.
Right,
because
exactly.
They were not heroic.
Yep.
they probably are dead now. And after giving up on life, since they couldn't even manage the game properly.
Exactly. So at the end, I'm going to tell you what happens in the final encounter. And this is where it goes. But this goes back to the John Birchfield story. Walt's got his dark elf. I know some of you got hey, you can play him. You can play him in Arcane at the time, and we still allow dark elves. She's in the knighthood. Her cleric mage thief.
Devitt, right?
Devitt, yes. And Devitt showed up in that adventure a week ago Thursday, if you all remember. Devitt and Galahad, who they went through the Temple of Elemental Evil together, so they were close. The two of them, I think you were both hasted.
I drank a potion of speed.
Yeah.
So I aged a year. So he was like 31 years older. So he ended up being 56.
Right. And she was hasted as well. And remember, dark elves have no penalty according to we're two-fisted. And you had a Holy Avenger?
I had a Holy Avenger and longsword.
Yeah.
And a +2 flame tongue.
Right. That was it. A short sword.
And it does +5 versus undead.
Right, undead instead of +4, like a +1.
But +10 because he's chaotic evil, and a +5 because he's undead.
110 points of damage in one round between the two of them.
I normally get 5 every 2 rounds, so I got 5 attacks in one round.
My fault for not. If you notice now, I drain people of all their resources at the end now. And Ed, yes, Tim, you kicked the Ed. How many times did Ed say we need to rest last night, and I didn't let you guys, Anna? 6?
No, Jay never lets us rest.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I saved up and I did that, and then I also critted in the middle of it too. I critted once or twice, and I think Devitt critted too. So
absolutely.
It was like a huge amount of.
I think it was 110 points of damage between the two of you. So, and that was it. And Strahd was done in the first one.
Hey, that's a hard way to go, man. +10, +5.
Yeah, exactly, Matthew. They took all the minions out. They were methodical about it. They had already come across him and already put him into 0, and then he went gaseous down below. Right, we're talking about where his final coffin is. So that and that was that. So, but
it was a glorious round. I mean,
it was a glorious round. It was.
It's from the 80s, and it sticks out in my mind. The feeling I had when that happened, it
absolutely
was a big deal.
And that's the wonderful thing about D&D. That's Anna, you probably have these stories too. It's the wonderful thing about you remember these things from all those years. 35
you remember
years ago.
them like they were real sometimes.
Absolutely.
When really fun adventures happen, and you sit and do fun stuff with your buddies. That's it's awesome.
That's what the love of the game is all about.
Yep.
So
I want to actually comment on that because
go ahead.
We were out with friends years and years and years ago. I was on leave after Ranger School, so I was going on a vacation with my folks, and it was one of their friends. And my dad and I were talking about games and playing D&D, and the guy with us was just amazed at this. He could tell the rapport we had, just from it's imagination and storytelling, but you build a rapport and it's a relationship. And he was kind of envious.
I was just going to say, you played with your dad, meaning, come on, how cool is that to have that with your parents?
We had that rapport, and he was like, wow, it really impacted him, and that was something that was, he didn't really have, but he was something he wanted to generate with his kid. His kids were still really young. So that struck a chord even way back then.
Yeah. That's something I missed. I never had parents or anything that was interested in
my first DM was my dad.
Wow.
The first time I started
playing. Yeah.
The first time I met Tim.
My first character.
First time I met Tim's uncle.
Okay.
Uncle Steve Skirrell. Yeah, DM'd first time I met Tim.
Oh, really? It was his game? It was his game?
Yeah, Jack and F's. Yeah.
Ah, my uncle was running that?
Yep.
I just remember Uncle Steve Skirrell.
Chagmat it was from the Dragon magazine.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Wow. That's
yeah, I know. We need to get John back, Bill, for a special event. I know John. I know. So such a true point there. All right, so Ravenloft 2 is nothing like Ravenloft 1 at all. You're going to be shocked when you look at this adventure. This is what would be the word?
He's hot.
What's that?
I'm just saying what everybody's thinking.
Your vampire.
I'm just going to say that picture probably sold more than the content of the adventure.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
pretty sure.
D&D
Considering the
nerds,
audience, I'm yeah. I'm not surprised.
This is a rare adventure too. I mean, to have an original of this, it's not. They did not print anywhere near as many. Yeah, Mordant. Yeah, this is a whole other different realm that you can just attach near Barovia or whatever. But you know, it's Vlad meets Jekyll and Hyde. That's what it is.
And isn't this when they also started experiment with special game mechanics for Ravenloft that was not in the original D&D at all, or AD&D?
A little bit, but this one has, and I'll be honest here, it's one of my toughest. The reason it's on the wall, I think this is the toughest published adventure I ever had to run. To DM this, and there's a reason why. If you know this, it does look like a romance novel, and that's what's so cool about it. I mean, it's just such a great cover. It does look like
a Harlequin romance.
Yeah, and you got once again you have your isometric.
Well, you know what, that whole mythic, forbidden,
Look at the design team. Look at this: David Zebcook, Jeff Grubb, the Hickmans, Harold Johnson, and Doug Niles. What an unbelievable group that is. Nuts. Jeff Easley, Clyde Caldwell, Harold Johnson. I mean, just Betty Elmore, typographer. You had like the whole crew here with this. Gabriel, I still got you. Still got you, Gabriel. That's all right, man.
What's the house on Griffin Hill?
That's where that's his place. That's why it's called. And we got a whole new. It's Mordantshire on the sea.
Okay. Is it Ravenloft the castle still, or is it different?
It's another Ravenloft castle. This is like American Horror Story. Another story is going to come up, right? It has nothing to do with the first story at all.
Well, there is that was
thematically.
Hey, Adam. You okay, Anna?
I just need to cough a bit. There is a way of. There is a little paragraph in the beginning. If you run Ravenloft, the first part, this is how you go straight into this one. And that's one of the worst cases of railroading I've ever read. It's terrible. It's like, oh, what if the ones survived and they killed Strahd? Well, that never really happened, and this will happen anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, that's not even solving the problem.
You're better off doing a multiverse thing, and then
meaning come up with some other vampire then, or something. Meaning, come on, that was just a lame attempt to
Strahd's twin brother.
Whatever, call him something else and say he lives in another castle and come up with the same business idea or whatever. So something,
So here's the whole plot, right? There's townspeople. There's an issue going on because the apparatus is here, and we'll talk about that. Visit Heather House to meet the key players: Lord Weathermay, his daughter, Lady Virginia, and she's on the cover, of course. Her attendant mistress, the alchemist Count Strahd von Zarevich. He's human, not even a vampire yet here, or whatever. So, and then you go to the trail leads to exploration of the house on Griffin Hill, and hopefully the discovery of the alchemist's diary and his missing entry. So basically, there's a rod you need to activate the apparatus. It's called, okay. And there's also a ring of reversion to bring Strahd back to his normal self. It's kind of a little. We have the entire tale of the alchemist. This is really, I think, House on Griffin Hill is 1E. This is 1E. Yeah, this is 1E. This isn't 2E.
It's still 1E.
It's still 1E. This is this is my original. This is 87, 86, 1986. Okay, beat up. Wonder if I have the login here. Oh, look at this. This looks like it's in your hand.
Hey, you've already lost me already on the storyline. I'm like bored.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tim. Maps?
Like, he's a regular guy now?
Yeah, they're maps.
It's a bizarre story. It's a bizarre story.
So when you go into Ravenloft 2, he's like a normal dude.
At the beginning. It's Jekyll and Hyde. So Jay was dumb back in the day and has highlighted all his.
That is not dumb, Jay.
So, yes,
old game. If you treat it like an investment, you never use it.
Because this has been, remember, this has been on my wall of fame. This one, the original. So I haven't taken it out lately. So let's click on this here before we go any further, and then you'll understand. Where is it? Ravenloft 2. Okay. Wow, look at that. Zalen the Lich. We have a Lich sighting, folks. Now, this is the first ever wording of Azalen anywhere that I could find is this adventure. The question is the chicken or the egg theory. This is Wardenshire. It's not the domain of Ravenloft. Okay? So how does Azalen get here? What is Azalen's purpose here? Not much at all. It's weird. He's like a side figure in this story. And that is because, and I'm going to show you why this is so tough to run. Yeah, mesmerist pendant. You have all sorts of great, really cool, like so you have your for mesmerizing people. And let's see how far down we got to go here. I know it's coming. What was that? Yep. Crimson Death. What a great monster that is. Yeah, they got some good wandering monsters in this too. Player character background. Here's the apparatus. All right. So Stride creates this machine for a purpose. Is in love with Lady Virginia, and it's not Mirror. It's that old Star Trek adventure where Kirk comes through the teleporter, and the evil side of him comes up, and there's a good side of him.
Mirror.
That's not Mirror. It's not Mirror. That's second season. First season, Kirk comes up and is split in two pieces, and they got to put them back together.
Oh, the weak one and the strong one.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So this is Jekyll and Hyde. There's the human Stride.
Hyde, it's the same guy. Is he two guys?
This is the same guy. There's the Stride alchemist and the Stride vampire now, as he split himself in half. Okay, Turnabout Intruder. There you go. Turnabout Intruder is the last Star Trek when the woman goes in his body, isn't it? That's the last episode ever in the third season. Yeah, it's in the first season because he attacks Yeoman Rand in that too.
There's one where he's weak and he's fearful, and there's another one where he's very aggressive and kind of violent.
Yeah, that's Turnabout Intruder. This is the first season. So you need now to figure out what's going on, why this vampire is appearing, why Stride is acting meek, and all this crazy stuff. In the meantime, because the apparatus has been activated, there is a chart in here. Because the evil Stride has all these, and look, man, there's so much in this adventure. The evil Stride has all these minions roaming about, including Azalen. That's the house on Griffin Hill.
I never played the second one.
I don't think you did. I think it was Walt and Mark.
Glad I didn't. Now that you're reading this, telling me this.
There's Stride again. It's probably the same stats as before. Where's
the chart?
I
feel like hurting myself.
Don't hurt yourself, please. You've hurt yourself enough today.
Yep.
Here we go. All right.
If I had to deal with all this stuff.
Give yourself. Hey, Phoenixy. I think we got our third guest for next week's DM's Roundtable. I got you and AJ, and then we'll probably announce the third one tonight if that's possible there. All right. For next, we have DM's Roundtable on Gabbin next week. All right. So get a deck of cards out before the adventure starts. Clubs, diamonds, spades, hearts. This is the entire, look at this. This is the entire listing of everyone in town.
It's like Len Kafka wrote this adventure. That isn't Len Kafka. That's exactly what he did.
City State as well. City State.
Yeah, he did it in Excel and printed it out just like that.
It is bad. I'm looking for it right here. There you go. See this?
The guy split in two. He's split in two people.
Right. Look there. Here he is. Azalin Lich, Magic User 18th. There he is. Azalin is Azalin and all these other minions. Werewolf. Look at this. Werewolf, gargoyles, zombies, drelbs, specters. They all start switching bodies with the undead in this adventure. And there's a timer in here. As you go in, you go in, you go in. Now, at the beginning of the adventure, Walt's character got locked up for mouthing off to like the sheriff who had been changed already. And I think it was God, I don't even remember what monster it was. It was something crazy. It was like a gargoyle or something that was and they threw him in jail. They threw him in jail with another a villager that was got turned into a vampire. So I have to keep track of all this as the adventure's going. Vampire change places. Yeah,
I blew my candle out when I was talking.
It is
it was a vampire in a villager's body.
Yep. They change places. But they keep their powers, so they're turning into living creatures, the undead.
So he can drink blood and drain levels and all that?
Yeah, but he can walk around in the daytime. Do you understand how this is a tough event? You have a full deck of cards. You have 52 people that eventually are going to change place with 52
it's unnecessarily complicated
baddies. This was the most, and I know, Mike, Celestian, you said this is appealing. This is a challenge of
it's unnecessarily complicated. You can just switch everybody and just keep it that way.
No, because the longer it takes, the more you have to deal with, right? So this provides a random element to the storyline and the timer of the storyline as it goes, if that makes sense. Okay, Skarshack. That's why it's on my wall of fame. This is the toughest adventure I ever had to DM, along with all the other stuff going on, the plot lines and all that. And yeah, so yeah, we do Yigs. The problem is that once they get switched out with a Bodak or a vampire or whatever, then they're assisting the evil Strahd, and that's the whole niche of this adventure. Really is tough to do. The caveat that I remember was they had just found the rod and deactivated the apparatus 2 turns before Azalin changed places, and I randomized this. It was all with the mayor of the town. That would have been cool, but it didn't get there. So Azalin plays very little role in my game. So Anna, would you ever DM something like this?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't run it like that.
It's tough.
But I would have similar theme things that will run against the clock. That's something that I do in all my campaigns, meaning the world goes on. It doesn't stand still and wait for the party to do whatever the party wants to do, the player wants to do with the characters. It's the world will go on, and the players have their chance to influence things, and if they don't take it, then they have to run and see if they can catch the next train, so to speak. So it's the world will go on without whatever the players do, and with the characters, whatever the characters do. So it's just a matter of the players need to bring in the characters into the action and start affecting it in a way they think, and starting kind of jumping on opportunities.
So when the players are walking through town or are in a certain spot, you need to cross-reference and see who's already changed and who hasn't and that's where the difficulty lies. And
this would make me want to hurt myself.
You already did hurt yourself.
I was just going to say you already did.
On purpose. I would on purpose when I hurt myself doing this adventure.
Hey,
I'd have to like
name a very, very well-known time limit adventure that's all endearing to us.
time limit?
It has a time limit on it. Yeah, there's a plot.
Elendar?
No, Fortress Elendar, yes, but I'm talking about it's TSR published.
I don't know.
Oh, Anna?
I mean, I know there's some competition ones, or there's some
Elendar, you said?
Well, Fortress Elendar was not a TSR published adventure.
But it rings a bell. That was that when you placed it in Shieldlands?
Yeah, and but that wasn't the one with the time. It does have a time limit.
That was
release.
the Demon Prince that's released to keep people out of the fortress.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking C1. Well, C1's competition. I'm talking
C1
about.
Is what I was thinking. C1 has a time limit.
Yeah, Tomoe-Con. I'm thinking. I'm trying to find it on my machine. Give me 1 sec, because we just did a discussion on one of the other.
Grinder.
Dude, don't even. That's not even funny.
Doom Grinder has a time limit, I'm sure.
No,
it doesn't.
It's forever.
That's kind of built into.
It's forever. Yeah. It's forever and ever and ever. I'm talking about.
It's grinding out Doom.
Oh my God, man! What a nightmare. That's why I'm rewriting it. It's painful. I can't find it. My gosh, Jay.
We can make it a wedding story in Groom Grinder.
I cannot believe I cannot find this.
Because it doesn't exist, Jay. You're making up.
No, it does. It does. Someone. I'll give it away if I say one word. No, Castle Amber is not it.
Say one word. Go for it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Here it is.
Assassin's not.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because in a certain
amount of that has a timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, that one does, because in a certain amount of time, then So Assassin's not by
Well, that has a plot that's ongoing.
Right.
And that you have to investigate into it, and it will continue moving forward if
you don't do the right things.
Yeah.
Yeah, independent of you.
It's a little bit different than the, Strahd one. But Ravenloft 2 sounds very painful. I'm glad I didn't do it.
Yeah. It's tough. But we had fun doing it. It was a fun adventure. Yeah, good old lens, gosh, Jeff.
Figure out people were switching out the personalities. So, you could be like a really little storm. You could be like a little kid, and you're really a vampire.
Yes.
But they can't bite people. They don't have fangs.
They kept their powers.
So they had fangs?
No, they didn't.
But you had to bite as a vampire to drain. That's how they drain.
You're asking stupid logical questions. How the hell is a Bodak gonna? There's Bodaks in there that could kill you. There's all sorts of nasty.
Bodaks in a human form are just going to shit themselves and run around breaking stuff and breaking glass.
Well,
and
they're
hurting
demons.
themselves.
So,
yeah, they're demons. They're going around crazy because they're now in a limited form, and they're going to be thrashing out, just outraged about it.
So note that this is not for. You may want to look at this and modify this, or you may want to do it and see if you challenge yourself as a DM.
Skip it. Don't do it,
or modify it yourself.
Yeah.
Determine who switched to who and leave it.
And the map is here. The map is very basic here, right? The map's
very basic. But
or you could roll randomly for every single time they talk to someone. You could just like flip and see who it is, and then you know what they are.
Yeah.
Right.
But we have to give it that time. The maps. That was a good map for the time. Yep.
Absolutely. It was a good map for the time.
Is that the farmland around there?
Yeah. This is Here's the sanitarium, the mausoleum, the Heather House. This is Mordenshire. So it wasn't bad.
Was it in a desert place?
No, it's just look. That's all woods and stuff. That's just the way it was.
Why is it all yellow? Why they do yellow?
I don't know.
It should be like a light green for lightly wooded or something.
Yeah, but they did the roads and the houses.
White for clear, and it should be dark green for heavy forest.
You are preaching to the choir.
Red for built up areas.
So, Tim's pushing buttons now. Mark Meir said last night, because he plays Exile and Rex, right? Sometimes in the Black Dice Society, said his theory on this adventure was that Azalin was someone else, and then gets split by this, and that's when he's subject to the apparatus's effects, and that's when he becomes the Lich. So you got Darling on your side, Tim. and that's because he actually plays that character, which is kind of cool, to have him actually playing that character. But note, this adventure is nothing like the original Ravenloft. There's a lot of investigation. There's a lot of trying to figure out what the hell is going on, especially if you've never played it before. Why all of a sudden is this person who was really nice to me, a townsfolk, now acting crazy? Because you could be interchanged with a zombie even. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. It just so yeah, it does. But Anna, overall, your thoughts on this? They tried to overdo this.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like an interesting experiment a bit, but they going bonkers in some areas, but that's according to meaning Ravenloft is not what I would run and not the way I would run my games. But I can't criticize it because the modules are really cool and they have lots of cool stuff. So if you want to run modules that are technically complicated and difficult and has a lot of cool features in them, I think they really are good modules, so to speak. Yes. And then you have the box set, and that's the one I want to talk to just a few
Please, let's do it.
Yeah, because this one, yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, I do think, I know I was talking about your trash about it, but I do think it sounds like it would be a lot of fun with all those personalities switching out. And
tough.
I also, an investigative adventure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has a lot of value to it if that's the nature and personality of the players. That it's a good thing to do because exercises their brain and all that. So it sounds like it would be very fun to run. It just, you have to modify, you have to make sure you can manage the changes in a way that you can effectively run.
Hey, Celtic. Hey, Fraley.
I'm not sure I could, I'd have to look at it in detail to figure out how, although.
Well, I told you why it's on my wall of fame. The great cover and the challenge. It was the most challenging adventure I ever DM'd that was published. It was a challenge to run.
How was it for the? I didn't play it, but how challenging was it for the?
Walt can tell you he had a blast in it. He did. I'm almost positive it was Walt and Marco. I think that maybe one other person.
Well, they're both.
Walt, Marco, and Alan, maybe.
Yeah, they're both. They're.
Yeah.
Marco can be very.
Yep.
Intellectual or what's the word I'm looking for? Thoughtful. They both can be very thoughtful when they're figuring things out. So I bet that was fun.
All right, Anna.
Yeah, so what I wanted to tie into a little bit is that when the box, there's two products, and I've sifted through the PDFs of most of them now, and there are two products that to me stands out because they're interested in from a mechanic standpoint, and that's the box set and the House of Strahd. That they're cool because they introduce a lot of new cool game mechanics you can kind of introduce, and oh, there you go, yep. So they have things like dreams and they have curses and they have madness rules and stuff like that goes in, and that is something I'm really interested, especially the dream stuff is kind of cool. So I'm going to, that's something I've never read before, and then I read it earlier today, and I was like, I'm not going to take those dream rules out of the whole cloth, so to speak, but I will definitely be inspired by them, and then I'll make some tweaky version of it because it's really cool. That to me is a thing to be exploited a bit because I think it's cool. And if you want to go into curses, there is more cool stuff here, so to speak. I think this should be one of your inspiration. Then you should look at Pathfinder, you should look at 5e, you should look at, there's probably a whole bunch of cool third-party products on DM's Guild and by other cool publishers that goes into curses. So pick up a few, and you can probably get a lot of them on drive-thru and stuff for like $5 each or something, or a few bucks each that have rules for curses. Or just Google rules for curses in D&D and then make up something, because curses, I think, it's an underutilized and also something that should be way more than just a saving throw.
I downloaded something with 100 curses.
But also a more advanced mechanic. So curses is something that you just don't like, either you go scot-free and get nothing, or you suffer for it, so to speak. It should be something that evolves and could be different from time to time, over time, and stuff like that. I think it's something that should be not every curse, but there should be curses that are more interesting from a game mechanics perspective that adds to the story and stuff. And also curses, I think, should be equal for both sides. If you have really powerful PCs, they should be able to utilize curses if they're evil, or if you consider curses that could be good curses too. Maybe it's up to who you want to do it. But I don't want to, I'm usually against having special rules for monsters and NPCs that they can do things technically and mechanically that the player characters can't do. So I want the same rules should apply for everybody, so to speak.
So from Ravenloft, and now I know something I forgot to do. There were a lot of Ravenloft settings started appearing.
Yeah.
In Dungeon Magazine.
They sold well.
They sold well.
Yeah.
There was one, and it's a cover as well. I forgot. It's called Bane of the Shadowborn. I ran that adventure. Everyone loved it because it had like a twist to it, and like it was you're only partially in, you're not permanently in the Ravenloft realm. But I ran that one, and that one really hit off. But then after that, it kind of lost it for my players. It kind of lost it. So our Lisa and Death and Darkness, Bones and yes, exactly. So, but that Bane of the Shadowborn adventure was really good. Someone wants to look it up and tell us what dungeon that is. That's fine. And I always kept stuff in Greyhawk, as we know. But their connections. We've done other planar stuff. Boy, there's multiple planes in Egg of the Phoenix. There's multiple planes. 31. Thanks, Alex. Bane of the Shadowborn, Dungeon 31. Let me see if I have that on here. I'll pop that up real quick. That's a really good one. If you're looking for an adventure that is, watch, I'm not going to have that one. I'm going to have every other number around it, but not that one, of course. 27. Nope. Well, ones I don't have them. All right. Can't show it. Can't link it up. So, there's no reason you can't take these adventures, both of them, throw them in a spot in Greyhawk, have them go into the mists. You don't need to worry about the terrain. Have them come out, whatever you want to do. I would always recommend, by far, the second one is very difficult to run, but the first one is just so iconic. Second one's a challenge. First one is really cool. So, as we coming up on time, final thoughts, Tim, on Ravenlofts.
Any day you get a chance to kill Strahd is a good day.
Yeah. Absolutely. How about Anna? Final thoughts.
It's interesting because they are so thematic compared to a lot. It's not generic fantasy. It's like gothic horror kind of. So it has a different vibe than general D&D. At least that's was supposed to be, and especially when the latest, when it became its own setting and it got a lot of different mechanics and stuff. Then I don't like to run it the way they are in the modules and stuff. That's not my style, but there are interesting inspiration for game mechanics and stuff that I like, because I like my games to be gritty and stuff, but not horror this way, so to speak. But there are interesting ways. It's not for me, but they're good modules, but not for me. That's what I realize. It's not my style of game,
good
but
point.
they're good modules. So I definitely think that if that type of game way of running D&D appeals to you, I think you should definitely have a look at it. And even if it doesn't, there might be aspects of it that are interesting for and should be for every DM, especially for DMs too, because there are things you should consider implementing in your campaign.
Agreed, Amy. Horror is hard to run.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah.
I feel like the first one was like a really great adventure. I feel like the stuff that came afterwards was more like capitalizing economically on a theme that was popular.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So the second one does sound like it would be interesting and fun to do, but you have to own how you run it, because you're, as a DM, you have to be able to manage it in a way that makes it playable. But I feel like the first one was like great, and then it was just more of a capitalization on the economics, which is okay.
Absolutely. Once again, we're not going to talk TSR's direction, whether it was smart or stupid. This is a heavy box. Look, I've taped it all up and all. It's been abused over the years because no one knew about collector's items back then. And this is like the first printing, I think, because it's got the different cover than the one that I was showing up. But that's all right. It's got some ideas in it, some cool ones. I really think Josh Whedon ripped something off out of here. Because he always, Buffy, he always rips something off. So is anyone in here a Buffy aficionado? Okay.
I actually watched them all, Jay.
All right. So
decades later, after it was your thing, I watched them later.
The season where they have the military, and they have the doctor experimenting, and she creates the Frankenstein guy. She calls him Adam, right? And that ADAM. Well, Adam is in this book instead of Frankenstein. Now, is that ironic or not? Right. So, because they have,
you can say you chose Adam as the first, whatever it is you created. You can always say it's a biblical allusion. You could always say that. So,
is Adam the name of the Frankenstein monster? Amy?
No.
Amy just said Adam is the name of the monster in Frankenstein.
I don't think he ever had a name.
Oh,
I think he was always.
I think it's named Adam because he's the first of its kind. I think it's referred to as Adam because he's the first of its kind.
But I don't think in
he did in a novel. I didn't know that, Amy.
If I remember correct, he's referred to at least when the book, because I took some classes.
Well, thank you, Amy,
we talked about creation stories or something in philosophy.
Whose novel?
And Mary Shelley that wrote Frankenstein.
Mary Shelley calls him Adam.
No, but it was described. He's described as Adam. I forgot because when we analyzed some of the creation stories or whatever we talked about in philosophy, and that was one of the ones that came up. And I remembered that our doctor, the professor we had, she described the monster as Adam. That part of the story. If that's actually in the book, I don't know, but it's apparently something that people do when they analyze the thing, so to speak.
I thought it was called Frankenstein's monster. I think that.
Oh yeah, but that's what is being described afterwards. But I know that the creation myth that comes from her story, then he's named Adam, so to speak. But
so
if that's actually in the book or not,
in here you have Mordenheim's monster. See, you have Mordenheim's monster.
It's quoted. Yeah, it's quoted in Ravenloft. Yes,
it's quoted in Ravenloft. But I did not know that he was Adam Frankenstein. Educated me.
Yeah, I just know that
I don't think he's named in the book. I think they refer to him as Adam because he's the first.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, whatever it is, now we know where Josh Whedon got it from. By the way, here's a Zalen in the Ravenloft set, right? There's a Zalen. Nowhere in his background it just says was once a human and powerful king in the lands of men. No word about Greyhawk here. He was. So that's a retcon too. So Azalin is because Azalin is in Ravenloft 2, no mention of Greyhawk. In this box set, no mention of Greyhawk whatsoever. He is a Greyhawk retcon at some point. The question is, when did that happen? Just like we figured out the Dracolich, we should probably figure that out. The novel, Dale, which one? I'm just wanted to note where that is. When did Azalin get into the Greyhawk setting? King of the Dead. Okay, cool. There you go. Someone knew it, which is really cool.
Somebody always knows.
Someone always knows things.
Yep.
So, hopefully you enjoyed tonight.
We kind of went all over the board.
That's the fun part.
Very distracting.
And we all, sorry about the gypsy discussion, but
Well,
it
it was
is.
a discussion we had to have.
Yep.
It was on the agenda. When you discuss this, you have to have that discussion. And I think we had a perfect example of why you
lock
should
your
not
doors. That's all I'm saying.
exactly why you
Tim's
should
kidding.
not have the why
Make
you
sure you
should
lock
not
it.
have
No,
the
make sure you
Stop!
the
Stop,
adventure.
Tim! Stop! Stop!
No, but it's good, Tim, because you proved exactly why this is problematic.
Hey, hey, so my friend who
No stories. None.
Yeah,
No more
exactly.
stories.
Yeah, we have to think
They drill
about the
hole in the
reputation of
wooden
the team.
frame, and they have a special tool that unlock the window. Then they go in.
Tim,
and
I don't
the
care.
Thieves
I wish I should mute him.
cash.
Oh yeah,
and
mute him.
jewelry.
Yeah.
Tim
And
is
they go to the
yeah.
fridge.
Remember,
and they
Tim.
put stuff
So
in the
everyone,
fridge and-
Yeah.
Tim has
and
lived
they
in
gather-
Italy. Tim has lived in Spain. Tim has lived all over the world.
I've
So
been in
then they
many of
take your
these European
purses and
countries
bags
too.
that are
Yeah.
around, and they sit on your front porch snacking on your food, and they go through your bags looking for cash and jewelry. No electronics, no serial numbers,
Tim.
just that stuff.
it doesn't matter. We don't care. It's over. He's pushing my buttons now. All right.
Mhm.
Shout out time, everyone. Oh, what's the special? Here's the special. Let's keep it over 100 viewers, all right? I'm giving away something else. All right, one person wins these. One person, you get your choice, the first winner wins this. The hardback Expeditions to Castle Ravenloft. All right? It's third edition. Yep. Okay. Oh, look at that. I got you up. By Bruce Cordell and James Wyatt. All right. All righty. There you go.
That's why I typed my name in.
We had so many. Yes. So there. I'll do two of them. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is. In the courtesy of Patrick Canadian Ancient Gamer, of course. They're reprints, by the way. That's a reprint. Isn't that crazy? All right. Tim, what's going on, man?
Just got to set the date for the next underdog. I don't have a date yet. And then still working out some of the difficulties of the next city state adventure for Dervilia.
Nice.
I have to expand. I have to do some serious expansion on the terrain around. And then, of course, I'll be running a reverse dungeon for your Greyhawk.
Yes, Tim has a reverse dungeon in. By the way, everyone, please, if you have not, we are looking for, want to get the signups up because it's only 2 weeks. The event signups are 2 weeks away. We're getting some more events put in. We had a couple today. The really nice Ode to Len Kafka shirts are in for all, like I said, for all the people who are bigger. I got 3Xs and 2Xs back in stock. So all sizes are back in. So, yes, just so everyone knows.
I have one person who said they're signing up.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Things are good. Yeah, it's okay. Things are going well. No,
I'm not nearly as busy as Anna and you.
Yes, but your game's early Saturday morning, so kicks it off. It's on Saturday. Yeah, Expedition Series is good, and I think I'm gonna we will have a deep dive on Expedition of Ruin to Greyhawk.
We're doing another joust tournament, right?
Yes, we are Saturday night.
So I've already dusted off Duncan Joustley, so I'm working on another commercial concept wise. But we'll have another video commercial for.
We're having, and I have 6 open signups for the joust, the Grand Joust of Altamira. For that. Characters will be assigned in order of signups and all. Thank you. It'll be a fun one. Yep, Duncan Joustley, the Cromulent, will be back. It'll be a fun night.
Oh yes, that will be awesome.
It'll be a fun night. I'm trying to get some really, really special guests to play in it too. To have some really fun people in it. So
this will be the second annual.
It actually was a year and a half ago. Yeah, it'll be the second one that we've done for that. We did it during GaryCon Virtual 2021. So this was just the first time we're doing it during Virtual GaryCon. The joust is easier to do than the Grand Melee. So
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Very good. So Anna, what's up?
Oh, it's a lot of stuff.
Thanks,
The the hexed versions of the 598 map. So I will put out, hopefully I will make it this. I was a bit riled up about after the adventure, so, and I had some phone calls and stuff to do, so I didn't get to do it last night. And I've been out all day and reading about the Ravenloft. But there will be a public preview of the 598 map, the 2022 edition, with the standard version and 12-mile hexes and 30-mile hexes. So we can actually get this one out the door, because I want to have it done with, so to speak. It will be JPEG only, and then when people have told me that they have, I need a lot of sharp eyes looking at it for a week or two, so you can tell me if there's any typos and things that last minute things that we can fix. And then that is done, so to speak. And then there was the Altamira project going into the next phase. And there is a little bit, I'm going to show Jay an update on the city itself. And we need to measure it, because now it's the time to nail down so it's the right size and stuff like that. So that is the next on the Altamira project to do this upcoming week. Yeah. And then that can go into a first high resolution render. And that took 21.5 hours last time, and it will probably take a little bit longer last time. So that will tie up my computer basically 2 days. So that's that's the problem. Yeah, more than a day. So and stuff. So that will it will take more than a day. Yeah. So it will be kind of crazy. It locked me out of the. So I need to sit and work on my laptop or do reading and sketching or something. But then there will be a bunch of stuff from my campaign that I'm starting to get ready to start releasing. And I've also come across some other cool tools that I'm going to write about that you can actually use for your game that are, I'm blown away. So they're cool stuff. So there's cool stuff coming that way too. And then there's of course more heraldry and a bunch of stuff. So I'm not that detailed, because there's so many things hanging in the balance at the moment, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that are halfway through, almost done and stuff. And the patron update will be a major patron update with new tiers and stuff being announced. I will do that very, very shortly. So that's for coming up the upcoming week. And I'm also wrapping up my other job, so to speak. So that's why I'm been a bit distracted lately too. But it's coming. And hopefully we can also have, we'll see if we can have some stream games for virtual Greyhawk Con for my campaign too. I'm going to talk to all the players and see if we can have a session where because there is some upcoming big battles, so we might want to have, so we'll see if that can fit in, and we could do that. That could be fun to see if we can do it. Yep.
Anna has her mapping discussion, but not a game yet scheduled at Virtual Greyhawk Con, right, Anna?
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have definitely a mapping seminar, so to speak, that will come, and there will be mapping. We had a live mapping show on Friday, so that will be next Friday as well. That will be the new standard. And last time we didn't drop more than 10 frames or something, so it was really, really well. It went super well, despite the fact that we have both me, Elissa Faden, and Kfir Mendel on, and they share their screens and stuff. So that was I was amazed that it worked that well. So maybe there is some benefit of being an associate or what's called when you're not a partner, but you are a Twitch affiliate. Yeah.
It's and it's a grind, Anna. So
I would never go past that, but it seems to have got some little bit of benefits from actually moving one level up once, so to speak. So it seems to work. So yeah.
We don't know if there's a fantasy mapping show in August because, and we don't have the banner for it yet, but we have the Call of Cthulhu game on the Friday the 26th of August coming, which is
who's running that?
The guy from Chaosium, Matt Ryan of Chaosium himself.
Yep,
is running the game for myself, Anna, Alyssa, and Zach Glazer from Frog God. Yes. He went for. I've played it once. I survived, which is crazy. We'll see what happens in the future.
If you need another player, let me know.
Well, yes, that would be That wouldn't be too disturbing with Tim, but yeah. Just regular cat.
Tim will fit right in. He's made for.
I don't know,
Cthulhu,
Justinius, about what he's running. What kind? I know.
I don't even know. Yeah.
No, I know that Alyssa ran Invictus for me. It was Roman era. So. Oh wow, that's cool, Dale. So it's really close in time.
What era is it?
I don't know. We don't know anything yet.
Yeah.
We know nothing. We're Sergeant Schultz on this. We know nothing about it. We see nothing. All right, let me pop up some of these shout out ones.
Oh yeah,
John Phoenixia. I'll see. I'll see what I can figure out with that time.
Early '90s is when the last time I really played Cthulhu, but it was
played first edition back in the late '80s or something. Yeah,
it left its mark.
No, I never got into it much.
For me, it's just like,
One of my lieutenant buddies ran it for me.
Yeah.
That's where Father Fergus Phileas McPherson was born.
Oh, I forgot one thing. I will be on Blue Box next week too. Before Legends and Lore. Yep.
That's good.
Well, that's cool.
Yep.
That's good. Give me a sec, John, and I'll respond. All right, so here we go. Okay. Wednesday. I don't know what to do with myself. I only got 3 streams this upcoming week. So Wednesday we're gonna have and thank you, Dark Lord Jake, for the follow. We're gonna go deep dive into some Greyhawk lore because Mordenkainen is Greyhawk. He's not,
I have to study for hours for each of these now.
Yeah, Mordenkainen and Tensor we're gonna talk about on Wednesday. I know what direction I'm going to go, and it's going to be in modules that I've run and adventures I've run where they appear, and talk about that. And some Mike will come at it from a different angle, and Anna will come at it from a different angle as well. And then we'll talk about delve deep into these 2 characters from Greyhawk lore. That's Wednesday. Thursday, I have not finalized the adventure I'm running yet. I'm working on that for my group. The time on this may change by a little bit. We'll see. And my third guest, who I haven't finalized that. So Phoenix Iwaki, AJ Winter's Tales, and third, I don't know if Sensei is on, but I'm asking Sensei Suplex to join as well. And for another DM's Roundtable next Sunday.
Yep.
We'll talk some about campaign settings and play styles and some other general things. And it'll be a fun discussion. And that will be, yep. I'll talk to you, Phoenixy, on Discord. But yeah, appreciate you all coming on for that. It'll be our 12th DM's Roundtable. You believe that? 12 of them. That'll be next.
They use a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're very good discussions. And then lastly, our next big game is on the 13th. Our next special event, the Slav Squad is back in the Genie Summoner. Tim's shaking his head.
Genie Summoner, wow.
Yes, the Genie Summoner. Special guest, April Hill Stiletto Assassin, will be joining us. She's already got a character, Kyanthe, an Elven Fire Elementalist. And
I would definitely think, Jay, that you're going to kick the shit out of them with that. If you don't, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, it's Phoenix. It's cool. I think he's from Kevin's from Atlanta. I think.
I mean, obviously, the person doesn't need some stupid lamp to get a genie. They're summoning a genie, so.
I know, but that's just the name of it. And sometimes I mind game people anyway. So, and the crew, the entire Slav Squad, Dale's favorite name
mind
group,
game people, come on,
they're all going to be there. So that'll be on 2 weeks from last night. That'll be the next big one. I just busted Dale. Come on, it's funny. So it's a fun group to DM for. It really is. Once again, if you haven't signed up, there's the Virtual GrowdCon link. Oh, now it's not popping. There it goes. Virtual GrowdCon link is there. Okay. All righty. Let's do the giveaways. And we will. Yo, there you go. So now you know what the invite is, man. I got to add you in. All right. Well, good to see you on. And
do you like my candle lit area? Is that a positive or is it too dark?
As long as you don't light yourself on fire, Tim. You've damaged yourself already. That's okay. So, yeah, it's good to see everyone. And we're just finishing up here. We are going to raid into Bones tonight because Little Bones after tonight won't be around a while because she's moving.
Eastward, right?
Eastward, yes. Moving back to near me, not too far from us. Yeah.
Down in Delaware or something?
No, south of that. But yeah, she's moving, and that'll be a good thing. Good. All right.
Same time zone.
Same time zone, which is a good thing. All right, giveaways coming up here. Last call. You want to get in on these?
I'm playing that my good behavior and will give me a karmic advantage on your
your good behavior. Oh well,
and giveaway. Yeah, trust me.
That's a funny one. That's hysterical. All right, here we go.
Can you believe how mean Jay is to me?
Oh my gosh!
You believe it?
Holy shit!
You guys are just like an old couple that been married.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Wow,
we got a ton of signups tonight for this one.
You're saying that just because we're an old couple, it's okay for him to be abusive?
Fraley,
know each other buttons. So yeah.
Fraley 17, you're on the claim.
You see how Anna sidestepped it?
Yeah,
that's just
I have to work on my diplomacy skills here.
I expected her to be a
little
more forthright.
Either the hardback. Fraley, which one do you want? You want the 2 or do you want the hardback copy? Your call. You tell me, and then the second winner will get what you do not choose. Yeah, Tim's good behavior, so that's funny. But that's comical. We had a good time. Hardback, you got it, Fraley. Second winner. And then we're going to raid into Bones tonight. But remember, just bring up Darling, too, if you can.
I can't believe Phoenix.
Tim, Enoch Pratt. Grats, Enoch. Grats.
Almost. So close. Another Tim got it. That's fine.
Yes, another Tim. Another ever mysterious. Yep, no problem. Thank you all. Really appreciate it. Note that 3 streams this week. I'll be on again Wednesday. Anna, thank you for another discussion.
Well, I was all over the place.
That's okay. We all were all over the place tonight, right?
Yep.
We all were. Thank you, Tim, for coming on. Hopefully your leg feels better. Chuck did not.
Yeah, the leg doesn't bother me as long as I don't hit it.
Yeah, Chuck from Troller didn't. He's probably not feeling well. He just didn't want to. He didn't want to hop on. I don't blame him.
I'll be doing a tire pull tomorrow at PT though.
Oh, dude.
It's like dragging the tire behind you.
I'm ending this while we can. Well, that's good, Mike. I'm glad to hear that. Because it is definitely one of the best ones of all time. Like I said, I-10 is a little different. I-10's a challenge. That's just why I love that one. So. All right, let's get this raid set up.
Yep.
Remember, after you raid into Bones, you can put Bones and Darling both up because you get credit for 2. So, all right, 72. That's awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll see you all Wednesday. Have a good start to your work week. Dun, 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 dun. Works.